As many of you would have seen today, I've been crying all day. I walked in with Nod and my children and run into Roger, shackle him straight away, and I just burst out crying. You wonder why that happens, and then you understand that 30 years ago, 30 years ago, you actually left a bit of your heart here. When I turned up here, I'd been on an Australian under-25 tour to Zimbabwe, and that was just fantastic. And I didn't really know Stuart Saunders very well. I played a couple of games against Stewie, and in conversation in Harare on that trip, Stuart actually said to me, "Oh, well, are you going back to Australia?" And I went, "No, I'm actually going to play in the Central Lakes League." And he said, "Oh, so am I." And I went, "Well, where are you playing?" He went, "Rochdale." And I said, "Well, mate, I'm playing for a club called Littleborough, but I don't know actually where that is." And when we arrived here, we realised that, Rochdale was just there and Littleborough was here, so we both went to our respective clubs and said, "I don't need a place on my own, and Stuart doesn't. We'll live together, and that'll save the clubs a bit of money." So we lived in 19 Calderbrook Road, which happened to be next door to Cedric and Elaine, who are here tonight with their children, who were like 11 and 9 then. They're now like 41 and 39. Cedric and Elaine were just the best neighbours in the history of the world. It's so wonderful to see you, because you had to live next door to us for 6 months. And the parties that we had there, they would start in our place, go out the back door of 19 Calderbrook Road, then in the back door of Cedric and Elaine's, then out the front door, and then in the front door of ours. So thanks for putting up with us for that 6 months. I spoke to Stuart and Libby Saunders last week, and they said to wish everybody and give their best regards, and hopefully they can get here soon and enjoy everybody's company. But like I said before, you realise that you leave a bit of your heart in these places. And when I turned up, I come here ready to play, and I really wanted to play. And this place, like Fleetwood, where I pro'd in 1981, reminded me very much of where I grew up. It was working class and it was hard, and everybody loved to drink, and the cricket was good, and I come here to play. And Ray mentioned that moment where I gave the side a spray, and the eventual sort of wash-up of that spray was that Jack Hunter retired the next day. And that was almost scandalous, because, as you all know, Jack was an absolute legend, and he's passed away now. Garfield's here, but Jack was a legend, and my spray to him made him retire. And it was very, very, very big. I think it even made the paper. So I then had to really step up to the plate. And I said this a couple of times tonight individually. There was members of that team, the majority of that team that year played better than they could have ever thought they would have ever played. And they never played that well again. So for that 6 months that I was here, everybody joined that flow. And to win the game out there on that last day and win the league, because that's what it's all about. For me, it wasn't coming here to have a good time and basically fuck around. It was here to come here, play cricket and win. And we won the league. And the irony was that I think Garfield did the winning run, who replaced his dad after I'd give his dad a spray in game 3 and Jack retired. So you remember those things, and they forge memories in your life. So we get here, we're 30 years down the track now. The reason that I'm here, and the reason that I'm going to go to Fleetwood next weekend and go to Haslington, and Michael Ingham's here from Haslington. You probably all know Mike, he's a bit of a legend in the Lancashire League. I pro'd there in 1990. So for Michael to come down to say hello tonight, thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. I'm going to try and drop in there next Tuesday after training. But I wanted to bring my children here well, I said to them not that long ago, now you know. You've spent 6 hours in this club, and now you understand how I feel about this place. And there's people here tonight that have travelled a long distance to be here to see us, and I thank you all. I know Misty's come from Brighton, Mickey Farrell's come from... Was that a dog then? Happy days. Or was that my son Fergus? You're right there, Fergus, into the pint, son. What's going on? I know Mickey's come from Huddersfield, Misty's come from Brighton. I mean, there's people who've travelled a long time. Thank you. I know that Billy Taylor hasn't been in here for a long time. Billy was our wicketkeeper. Oscar, where are you, Oscar? I don't get here too often, and he's come down. Look, everybody that's come tonight to say hello and see me again and meet my beautiful triplets. If you don't know, these are my triplets, Fergus, Madeline and Juliet. Fergus is the oldest, Madeline was born 20 minutes later and Jules about half an hour after that. That means that I've got to be the only fast bowler in the history of cricket to get a hat-trick with 2 balls. Madeline will go later, Dad, that's so embarrassing when you say that. But a mate of mine rang me on the first day that they were born and said that over the phone, you've got to be the only fast bowler to get hat-trick with 2 balls. And I'm still telling them, I'm still getting a laugh 19 years later. So it's a great line. But I needed them to come here and to come to Fleetwood to understand the depth of my love for this place and how much it's affected me in my life. And I haven't stopped crying all day because I love yous all. And it's just wonderful to be back here with all you folks. So thank you.